Greg Ehrenberg from OddsShopper here to bring you the best MLB bets for the Saturday slate. And we've got a bunch of baseball games, some in the afternoon, some at night. And we've been on a little bit of a good run here as of late. And it's been a good finish to the week. So hopefully we could keep that going today. Going to recap bets in a second from yesterday. But first, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel while you come in. And any comments you have at all on today's video or on the slate in general, any bets you like that I didn't talk about, any bets that I talked about that you hate, let me know below in the comment section. And before we start talking about today's bets, quick recap of yesterday. And it was another pretty solid day. 3 bets, we went 2-1. One of them was a plus money bet. That was Alex Cobb over 4.5 strikeouts. Pretty sweat-free there. We had Alex Cobb had 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. He did end up giving up some hits and getting roughed up a little bit, but who cares? We're only looking at the strikeouts there. We had over 4.5, and it was plus 110, so we won on that. Then Twins over 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings. Another one that was pretty sweat-free. They put 3 runs through 3 innings, and they ended up being one of the highest-scoring teams of yesterday. So the Twins, I know they're not the best offense in baseball, but they were going up against a pitcher yesterday, and Tyler Alexander, who was really not a good pitcher for the Tigers. So that was a spot that looked just really undervalued. And then the one losing spot was the Pittsburgh Pirates over 2.5 runs. They had their opportunities. They had a 1 inning. I think it was the 3rd or 4th inning against Jack Flaherty. We had the bases loaded and 1 out, and they weren't able to get any runs in. There was another spot where I think they had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. So they had their opportunities, but ultimately just didn't come through for us. But no complaints about a 2-1 day yesterday, and hopefully more of that is going to be on tap for us today. So let's get to the bets. These are the best MLB bets for the Saturday slate. The first spot I'm looking at is under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings in the game between the San Francisco Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And for starters, neither of these offenses are all that great. Giants right around middle of the road, Diamondbacks below league average. And we've also got a pitcher in Dre Jameson on the mound for the Diamondbacks, one of the best pitching prospects in baseball. He's off to a really good start to his MLB career. He's only made 3 starts, so it is a small sample size, but 0.98 ERA in those starts and a 2.95 FIP. But beyond just that, look at the matchups he's had to deal with to this point. His MLB debut was against the Padres. Then his next MLB start came against the Dodgers in Los Angeles. And then his last start came against the same San Francisco Giants team, where he pitched 5 1/3 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. So we've already seen him have success against this team. And this is a pretty high run total we're looking at. 4.5 runs for the first 5 innings. It's a pretty lofty number, especially when you consider this game is taking place in San Francisco, one of the more pitcher-friendly parks that we have in baseball. Then on the other side of the game, it's a bullpen game for the Giants. And bullpen games, I don't think people really realize how difficult that could be on an opposing offense, because bullpen pitchers just tend to be better than starters by and large. Like, obviously not as good as the best of the best starters, but your average reliever is going to have a much lower ERA and expected ERA than your average starting pitcher. Let's look at the numbers for the Giants bullpen this year. 3.99 ERA, 3.87 FIP. Pretty solid results. So I'm kind of confused by the total in this game. It should probably be like 3.5 or something as opposed to 4.5. So my first bet of the day, under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings of the Giants and Diamondbacks game. Today's show is sponsored by BetMGM. And if you guys are not signing up in multiple sportsbooks, you're really leaving money on the table for a couple of different reasons. First off, there's always going to be one book that has better lines than the other books. If you're only playing in one spot, you're losing out on a lot of money over the course of time. Tens, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending how much money you're betting. That end, new sports books are giving you good offers to get in the door. BetMGM, for instance, the first bet you place there when you click on the link below, you're going to get a risk-free bet of up to $1,000. So your first bet wins. If you bet $1,000, they're going to give you back $1,000 in free bets. It doesn't have to be $1,000 if 50 is what you're comfortable with. That works as well, or 500. But once again, your first bet there is going to get refunded if it loses in free bets. So risk-free on your first bet over at BetMGM, and it just gives you another place to bet and make sure you're getting the best lines possible. So when you're signing up at BetMGM, just make sure to click on the link below, because you're going to need to use that link in order to get to your risk-free bet and get your first bet refunded if it loses. So click on that link, sign up at BetMGM, and get another spot where you can get the best lines possible. The next bet I'm looking at, it's a number I'm just confused by. So I have under 5.5 strikeouts for Austin Voth, who's pitched better than expected this year overall, but he doesn't work very deep into games. He's not a high strikeout guy. So he's made 16 starts this year. He's had 6 or more strikeouts 3 times, and the most strikeouts he's had all season is 6. It's been his absolute ceiling. He's a fairly difficult matchup today against the New York Yankees. So that's where I'm just kind of confused here when it comes to this Austin Voth number. who we currently have projected for right around 4 strikeouts. We have the under projected to win 75% of the time in our projections, or at least in our simulations here. And then you just look at the numbers for Austin Voth. Like I said, pretty solid. 4.19 ERA, 4.24 expected ERA, but he's a 20.8% K rate. He very rarely pitches past 5 innings. So the idea that he's going to strike out more than a hitter per inning against the Yankees, it just seems unlikely to me. And that's also, like I said before, our projections and sims kind of bear out, and we have him projected for just a little over 4 strikeouts and the under winning 75% of the time. So this bet is juiced a little bit towards the under, but not enough based on our projections. So Austin Voth, the strikeout line probably should be around 4.5, if not even lower in this spot. So I don't like the matchup against the Yankees. If it is a team that could strike out a little bit, it's not a pitcher that I think would regularly be getting 6 or more strikeouts. Like I said, we've seen it in the majority of his starts. He has made 16 starts this year, and only 3 times has he hit the over on the strikeout prop. So give me the under with Austin Voth. Just not a high strikeout pitcher in a tough matchup, and probably isn't pitching all that deep into the game. And for my final bet of the day, it's another pretty inflated strikeout prop. The over-under for Drew Smyly strikeouts today is 5.5. And just like I was talking about with Austin Voth, we've seen a decent amount of starts for Smyly this year, and he just hasn't had 6 or more strikeouts in many of them. 21 starts. He's hit the under in 18 of 21 of these outings. Now, I know he has a good matchup today against the Reds, but even with that said, it's not like this is a guy who's regularly putting up big strikeout numbers. So I feel pretty good about taking the under here. Like I said, 18 out of 21 have been the under. Drew Smyly's having a decent year. He has a 3.48 ERA, a 4.09 expected ERA, but he's a much different looking pitcher this year than in previous years. In terms of, he was always a high variance guy in the past, really high strikeout rate, and then also a really high walk rate. This year, it looks like he's found success just by throwing more strikes. So he's a 20.5% K rate. That is the lowest of his career, but at the same time, he's a 6% walk rate, which is also the lowest of his career. So it's a clear change in strategy from Smyly, who's just getting the ball over the plate more often, and he's cool with pitching to contact because he just doesn't want to be walking as many guys. So the strikeout rate down, the walk rate down, the success rate up. But as a result, too, we're seeing these strikeout props look pretty favorable when it comes to Drew Smyly, especially when it's a 5.5 prop, a number that, like I said before, is hit 18 out of 21 of his starts. Our projections on Smyly today, we have him projected for 3.9 strikeouts. The under expected to win 78% of the time. So final bet of the day I have here, Drew Smyly, under 5.5 strikeouts. Also, I'm going to point out, though, if you guys are looking for bets beyond just baseball, if you want college football bets, NFL bets tomorrow, we've got our premium betting Discord. We've got the link below. You guys could click on and get access to it for 1 week for free through that link. Or if you want to go over to our site and use the promo code GEINSIDER when you sign up, GE, those are my initials, and then Insider, it'll get you a week free access. And we've got our Discord where you can ask us any questions you want, or you just hang out, converse with other people. And we've got bets posted for pretty much every single sport. Even esports now are in there. So if you want to get access to that for free, just click on the link below. Recapping my 3 MLB bets for the Saturday slate, we've got the Giants and Diamondbacks under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings, Austin Voth under 5.5 strikeouts, and finally Drew Smyly under 5.5 strikeouts. That's what I'm betting, but let me know below in the comment section what you guys are betting. Always like to hear from you. Also, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Good luck today, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.